Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with somebody who might get something out of it. Guys, we're going to jump right into it. Today, we're going to go with the Just for Today NA meditation, which is titled Friendships. Our friendships become deep, and we experience the warmth and caring which results from addicts sharing recovery and a new life. Most of us come to recovery with few genuine friends, and most of us arrive without the slightest understanding of what it takes to build lasting friendships. Over time, though, we learn that friendships require work. At one time or another, all friendships are challenging. Like any relationship, a friendship is a learning process. Our friends love us enough to tell us the truth about ourselves. The old saying, the truth will set you free, but first it will make you furious, seems especially true in recovery. This can make friendships awkward. We might find ourselves avoiding certain meetings rather than facing our friends. We have found, though, that friends speak out of concern for us. They want the best for us. Our friends accept us despite our shortcomings. They understand that we are still a work in progress. Friends are there for us when we are not there for ourselves. Friends help us gain valuable perspective on the events in our lives and our recovery. It is important that we actively cultivate friendships, for we have learned that we cannot recover alone. And then the affirmation is, just for today, I will be grateful for the friendships I have, and I will take an active part in my relationships. And again, that's certainly something that I've found. And it's been very nice for me because one thing about myself is in recovery, and like so many others, but for myself, I can only speak for myself, I had cut out everybody that wasn't directly work related. If you weren't related to me getting money or getting drugs, you were out of my life. Because I was just, I couldn't bear to have to continue to lie. It was just way too much work to try and keep any kind of a friendship going, because all I could do was lie, and it made me feel like hell about who I was and what I was doing. So I just cut all my friends and all my family out of my life. Man, even when I was still married, my wife included, I was, she used to tell me I was robotic because I didn't share or tell her anything, because anything I did say might come back to open up a door for her finding out the bullshit that I was doing behind her back. And it was too much work to keep up, trying to keep up appearances, and I always had to disappear for hours because drug dealers leave you laying around. It's terrible, guys. I chose substances over every relationship in my life, and now that I'm off the substances, I've been able to start building friendships in my life, and it's been pretty wild. It's been pretty interesting. Early on, for many of us, one thing you're going to find out is you're going to figure out who your friends are and who your drug acquaintances were, and you have to shed all those because you no longer see eye to eye. You no longer have anything in common, and you're going to find that those people that you were hanging out with that were just strictly drug related, you don't want to be around anymore. So, it was it was eye opening when I started to cut them all out. I very quickly realized early on in recovery there was nobody left. I had to start, being a little bit humble and reaching out to those that actually cared about me, and explaining, hey, listen, I went through it again. I've been through rehab. Only this time it was really nice because, because I've done it the way that I have through my higher power, and I'd actually made the changes to myself. Everybody could see very early on that I was dead serious, and I don't know, because again, I only know my perspective of it. But I did notice that, and it was so hard because I'm saying the things that I've meant, and every time I've said them, I've meant them. But as I was saying it this time, I'm like, oh my God, I'm saying the same thing I've said 10 other times. And I'm like, guys, you know what? And so I caught myself saying often early on, guys, I'm not going to sit there and blow smoke up your ass. Just, stick around and I will show you. And that's what I did. I shut my mouth and I did everything through action. Because unfortunately, when we've, been on the hamster wheel for as long as I have, you can't necessarily, and so many people get frustrated by this, and I'm fortunate that I was able to see my side of things, and that's why, guys, taking accountability is so incredibly important. So many people get angry, oh, well, I'm serious this time, and you don't understand that we've told people these things over and over again, and all we did was lie, cheat, and steal for however long you were out there being active. For me, it was decades. So I didn't expect anybody to believe a word that I said. I understood that I had to go out and prove it through action. And by doing so, I've cultivated all these amazing friendships that I used to get so overwhelmed just trying to have to deal with customer calls. Today, I keep in touch with a number of people. Like I reach out just to see how people are doing. If I haven't seen somebody at a meeting for a couple of weeks, being with somebody I want to call today because I hadn't seen them in a couple of weeks, I'm able to do that today because I'm actually building true friendships. And yes, that can be tough sometimes because those that care about you. And again, it's hasn't been that big a deal because I've been doing the right thing and things have been going really, really well. So I've been getting a lot of accolades, but that's not always going to be the case. There are still times where people that the few people that I tried to keep somewhat in my life while I was active, I've had to eat crow and come back and explain, okay, well, everything I told you about that was bullshit. That was a lie. That was a lie because I wanted to maintain the friendship. And in doing so, guys, it's humiliating and it's humbling, but it's how I've cultivated the friendships because now they know that everything I'm saying is true, above board, and I'm being honest to the absolute best of my ability. And it's not always easy, guys. But again, you either have to cut everybody out, or anybody that was trying to support you. You gotta have to just come on and be honest with them and understand that they have every right to come down on you. And when they don't necessarily believe you the first time you say something, even though now you're sober and now you mean it, understand that gaining back trust and respect from friends that you've abused through addiction is gonna take time. Never get frustrated with them because you gotta understand you gotta own your part of it. And again, if they're actively using, just then you gotta let them go. You can't be around people that are actively using. They're not your friends. You're not if you're in sobriety. Unfortunately, if they're family or something, the best way to help them is again to not enable anybody. You're not helping somebody by enabling them. You're hurting them. Really, you're prolonging their agony. But if you take the uncomfortable, awkward steps of being honest and completely and utterly honest, and then taking proper positive actions in your life, being willing to make amends where making amends is possible and appropriate, then all those relationships will come back to you, guys. You don't need anybody else to do anything. You just need to take care of yourself. And when you do so day in and day out, and you come from a place of being honest and being sober and being clean and doing the next right thing, people will see those. And you don't have to jump up and wave flags and look at me, look at me. Be humble, be quiet, and look to help somebody else out, that's coming up behind you, instead of, fighting to get accolades. Because, guys, it just comes off as self-seeking, and people can see that fake self-seeking bullshit behavior miles away. But when you just focus on the task at hand, build your program, work your program, build your life, start putting things back together, and doing so honestly, and being willing to help friends instead of always taking. And particularly in early recovery, oftentimes we've lost everything and we need to put so many things back together. So we're trying to get this from this person, that from that person. I didn't this time around. I said, you know what? Whatever my lot is, I'm going to accept it. I'm going to build it myself, and I'm going to reach out and help as many others along the way. And by doing so, suddenly people were lining up to offer me things that they thought I could use or things that I needed, and I didn't have to ask for anything because I'm working my program to the best of my ability, and I'm trying to help other people, not just be selfish for myself. When you're doing the right things, people will see what you're doing. They'll see what you need or what they have that might help you, and they're more often not going to offer. I mean, for myself, guys, look at the offers that was made. Doug let me drive the beautiful King Ranch that's now my truck. The day that I got home from rehab, he was so proud of me for getting clean. He's like, listen, I'm down in Florida, the truck's at the dealer, take a check, go pick up the truck, and you can drive that. I don't want the other kid that destroyed it, driving it anyway. So I had this beautiful pickup truck that was my boss's pride and joy. I'm my customer now, but, beautiful truck, right? So I get to drive that every day. And then as I quit my job and I was honest with him, and that's the thing, it's about respect, guys, being honest and working friendships. I thought he was going to hammer me. I thought I was going to have to turn the truck over, but I didn't want to take advantage and have him come home and, I got buckets of tools and on top of his saddle leather seats. And by being honest and saying, Doug, what do you want me to do with the truck? I'm working for myself now. Well, clearly you need the truck, right? You need something to work out of. I said, yeah, but, you just spent all that money on it. I don't want to take advantage of that. And he's like, no. If I come home, I'll rent the car. You take the truck. You need that. Because he saw I was doing the right thing and he wanted to help me out. The next day, he called me back and said, hey, why don't we do this? give me $5,000, the truck is yours. Like, he just spent $22,000 on it the day I picked it up. Never mind 40 grand he put in 2 years ago. Never mind what he paid for it. Like, I mean, that was a straight gift, guys. It was amazing, right? And it was because I wasn't asking for anything. I was offering to give it back, so I didn't take advantage. And I was just doing the next right thing. And he could see that I was being serious, and I was trying to respect the help that he was giving me and not take advantage of him. And all of a sudden, boom, I got that beautiful truck. I ended up getting my scholarship to Harvard because I was sharing my program honestly with my recovery advisor and letting her know this is what I'm doing with YouTube. And again, it wasn't saying I'm the man, I'm this. I'm like, no, it's really awkward and I don't speak well. I got no teeth in my mouth. It's embarrassing. And I was, letting her know my legitimate concerns. And next thing you know, they were so impressed with everything I was doing. I was given a scholarship to Harvard University for a public speaking and persuasive writing course, which, amazing, right? Guys, when you're humble, when you act from a place of complete honesty and you speak your legitimate concerns, not monetary, material, shiny trinkets, as I like to say, your needs will be met, and you will get everything you possibly that will possibly help further your cause in ways that you never see coming, just because you're not out there searching. It's like anything, guys. If you chase, you go chase a squirrel, he's gonna run away from you, right? You chase anything, it's gonna run because you're startling, you're chasing it. When you just work your program to the best of your ability, just try to be the best person you can, things will fall into your lap, and that's exactly what I've experienced, guys. None of the beautiful big blessings or anything I saw coming in any way, shape, or form, and I didn't know I needed or didn't know they were available. But because I've just been being honest with where I'm at, how I'm feeling, what I'm doing. All of a sudden, these doors of opportunities are being thrown at me left and right, and it's shockingly beautiful. Things have gotten better and better and better and better at a clip that I could have never ever dreamed possible. I love the fact that I've broken the 6-month mark because, again, I went back and I was watching one of my first videos, and I'm like, I was stammering and stuttering. If you go back and see my first videos, not that I'm, some, professional, speaker today, but I've come a tremendous way, and it's shockingly beautiful what's happened in my life. But I knew that early on because I was getting downloads through prayer and meditation that if I continued to work my program, if I continued to turn my will over to God, that He was going to do miraculous things, and I would be shocked at what my life looked like in 6 months. Guys, here we are 6 months later, and it's truly shocking. I'm 50 pounds heavier. I look 10 years younger. I go to the gym. I'm strong. I feel great. I'm healthy. I've got more money in the bank now than I've ever had in my life. I own the business. I'm taking classes at Harvard. I've been doing the channel for all along. Like, it's beautiful. And again, it's nothing crazy. It's nothing, I'm Joe Ball, I'm Joe Cool. But I've got opportunities, and I'm growing at an exponential rate that I've never seen before, and it's amazing. And it's because I haven't been chasing accolades. I haven't been chasing, money, or, I've just been doing the next right thing because it's the right thing to do, and I've done everything to the best of my ability. The only thing that I've chased is recovery. I've gone after. I work as hard for recovery as I did to get high, and that was a promise I made to myself, and that's made all the difference in the world. Guys, every one of us are capable of amazing things, and it is completely up to you how far it's going to take. If you want to sit there and say, oh, why you can't do this because so-and-so did this, and so-and-so this, and so-and-so that, and you're not going to get anywhere because you're not taking accountability. You're not trying to do anything for yourself. You're waiting for a handout from somebody else. You don't need to, guys. Go out and get a job. Like, the career that I have right now, this whole thing started when I got out of rehab the time before this time around, and I came over spreading salt and shoveling snow, and then I was hired to sweep floors on a construction site. Now I own the business, and and my biggest customer is my former boss, and I run his multi-million-dollar corporation for him while he's on semi-retirement down in Florida. And I didn't step in. I didn't show up here and say, "Hey, let me run your company. Give me access to your millions, and let me do." No, I showed up sweeping floors and being somebody's bitch. Honestly, the Billy that was working for him was terrified of me because I was intimidating looking, and he tried to run me out the door And after 3 days, he called Doug up and said, "Hey, this kid's the best worker I've ever seen in my life. I've done everything I can to piss him off and run him out of here, but keep smiling and just getting things done quite twice as fast as I thought I could ask him." And it's because I was being humble and I wanted this job. I knew it was an opportunity, and again, it was a damn good decision because God put me where He needed to be long before I was even communicating with God and having a relationship like I do today. But that paved the way, even though I ran amok for another 7 years. But He kept all these good people in my life because this is where I meant to be. This is where my soul's true purpose is going to unfold. So He kept me here. And now all of a sudden that I'm doing the right things and I've got the spark and I've got the recovery bug, all these opportunities are sitting right here, and all the legwork, all the groundwork that I laid, even with all the mistakes that I made along the way, were still here for me to pick up the pieces and start building my empire. This is my home, and this is beautiful, and this is where I built my relationship with God, and now I see that. There's so many things that I can look back on now over the last 7 years that went differently than every other situation, even though I did the same thing. So it wasn't by me, guys. If I expected to do the same things and get a different result, that's insane. Well, what happened was God saw that there was a future for me. Again, I truly believe that last run was for me to get things out of my system, to get the clarity, because again, at no other point in my life did I have the desire to share my story and use my perspective to help other people. Now I look back at it and realize that I stayed out there as long as I did so I could get the experience that I have now, so I could relate to anybody going through anything, more or less, and understand their point of view and help guide them through it, which is what my soul's true purpose is. But today, I'm able to build friendships because I come from a place of complete honesty. I'm not trying to get over on anybody. I look for ways to help other people. And it's amazing. It's some, there's 2 or 3 guys that I used to work with that I didn't party with. It's funny. It's all the guys that are my true friends now are the guys that I used to think were squares, and I didn't really. I mean, I got along with them because I get along with people, but I didn't have any desire to hang out and get to know them on a one-on-one basis because they weren't getting high, and I couldn't get anything out of them. But now I understand that they're good people, and I share stories at church, and I go to this one, you go to that one, come check this out. These are the people that I hang out with today, right? Because they're the people that are doing the right thing, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm doing. And those are who my true friends are. And it's funny because those are the ones that are always there for me and actually were concerned and would pull me aside back in the day and say, "Man, you're looking rough. What's going on?" And not trying to get high with me and tell me I'm great and share my paycheck and go let's go die together. Guys, true friendships require work, but they're well worth it because it's where all the beautiful blessings in my life have come from. The people that have truly become my friends. And I'm gaining more and more of them because I'm actively being an active participant in my recovery. And that's where I want friends with. That's why I decided to stick around at Project Bread and donate my time down there. Because those are the type of people I want to surround myself with. I don't want to go hang out at the bar, even though I haven't drank in 25 years. I don't want to be around sloppy drunks. Those aren't the people I'm looking to hang out with. Go build lasting friendships by doing things the right way, being honest, being willing to help somebody out, and not making it all about you. Guys, that's the lesson for today. Thank you so much. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.